Quebec City, French President Emmanuel Macron on Thursday threatened to join with other world leaders to issue a rare rebuke of the United States at a global summit here this weekend, drawing immediate and sharp replies from President Trump. Will you pre-qualify for a city card? Find out here. Macron threatened to exclude the United States from the joint statement issued every year at the end of the Group of Seven Summit of Industrial Democracies, as part of an international pushback against Trump's efforts to change trade rules. The American president may not mind being isolated, but neither do we mind signing a six-country agreement if need be, Macron wrote on Twitter. Because these six countries represent values, they represent an economic market which has the weight of history behind it and which is now a true international force. Trump responded by accusing Macron and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of hurting the United States with unfair trade practices. Trump also said Trudeau is being so indignant, an unusually personal attack aimed at one of the U.S. closest allies. Please tell Prime Minister Trudeau and President Macron that they are charging the U.S. massive tariffs and create non-monetary barriers. The EU trade surplus with the U.S. is $151 billion, and Canada keeps our farmers and others out. Look forward to seeing them tomorrow, Trump wrote. He followed it up with another tweet targeting Trudeau. Prime Minister Trudeau is being so indignant, bringing up the relationship that the US and Canada had over the many years and all sorts of other things. But he doesn't bring up the fact that they charge us up to 300% on dairy, hurting our farmers, killing our agriculture. He wrote. The exchange highlighted President Trump's contrasting negotiating approaches to allies and adversaries. The president traded barbs with the French president just hours after his administration relaxed its punishment of the Chinese telecom company ZTE, a concession that could pave the way for a trade deal with China. Leaders in Europe, Canada and Mexico are furious over Trump's invocation of national security to justify tariffs on their exports of steel and aluminum to the United States. When the president arrives Friday in Quebec, he will find U.S. alliances badly frayed, turning Trump's tariffs into the focus of the G7 summit. Those tensions boiled over in recent days during testy presidential phone calls with British Prime Minister Theresa May, Trudeau, and Macron. In contrast, Trump has shown a willingness to conciliate China in hopes of a trade deal he can bill as a major achievement. The traditional definition of allies is certainly being called into question, said Douglas Redeker, executive chairman of International Capital Strategies, a financial advisory firm. If you look at it holistically, then it doesn't make sense. But it's consistent with the purely transactional nature of this president and the political imperative of being seen as cutting a big deal on a big issue. ZTE will pay a $1 billion fine and agree to fund a new in-house compliance team staffed by U.S. experts, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross said. The move eases a 7-year ban on ZTE buying American parts, which Commerce levied in April. At the time, the Chinese government complained that the action could put the company, a major employer and star of the Chinese technology industry, out of business and make it impossible to conclude a U.S.-China trade deal. The decision to soften ZTE's penalty stoked a rebellion among Senate Republicans, who see the company as a national security risk. After staking out a tough position on trade with China, demanding in March that Beijing enact sweeping changes in its industrial policies, Trump appears to be moving toward a less ambitious deal involving Chinese promises to buy more U.S. products. Senator Bob Corker, Republican Tennessee, introduced legislation Wednesday that would block the president from imposing tariffs on national security grounds like those Trump levied on the European Union, Mexico and Canada, without congressional approval. After 17 months of tumult in U.S. trade policy, Corker's bill represents the most assertive congressional response to date. Trump began Thursday with a tweet reiterating his long-held view that U.S. trading partners have routinely taken advantage of the world's largest economy. Getting ready to go to the G7 in Canada to fight for our country on trade. We have the worst trade deals ever made, He wrote on Twitter. The Commerce Department action came after Trump tweeted last month that he planned to help ZTE because too many jobs in China would otherwise be lost. The president's extraordinary intervention in an enforcement matter drew widespread criticism on Capitol Hill from members of both parties. Reaction Thursday was no warmer. China is eating our lunch, and this president is serving it up to them, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, Democrat, California, said Thursday. Senate Minority Leader Charles E. Schumer, DN.Y. called for Congress to reverse the decision, but that would be difficult. Senator Chris Van Hollen, DMD, however, on Thursday announced by